Africa's politics is heating up yet again. The DA has had to suspend a Western Cape MEC following allegations of misconduct, and the ANC has had to reaffirm its support for the Judiciary and Constitution while dealing with a very defiant Lindiwe Sisulu. Leaders are actually working hard to do damage control ahead of the national elections. Let's discuss the dynamics with political analyst Prince Mashele. Prince, thanks for your time. Always a pleasure talking to you. Let's start with the DA and Albert Fritz. Of course, we know that Alan Winde, as the Premier of the Western Cape, has suspended him pending this investigation. Very scant on details as to why he's been suspended. But the Democratic Alliance is already out trying to do damage control, saying they're happy with the way he's dealing with the situation.
Thanks, Shahan. I think this whole saga in the Western Cape, it's damaging to the Democratic Alliance in the sense that the party and its government down there are viewed as being withholding information as to why they suspended the MEC. You can't tell the public that you have suspended someone, but you actually don't tell the public why you have suspended that person. So as we speak, the public in the Western Cape and in the rest of South Africa is actually speculating as to what exactly has Mr. Fitz done. And that is very damaging in the context of a latest development that was announced today. Another black leader from the Democratic Alliance who left and joined Action SA. So the picture that is emerging is that the DA is actually paging black leaders from within its ranks.
Yeah, and even though you say that, I mean, you have Bongani Baloyi, who's actually joined Action SA, saying that there's no beef between him and the Democratic Alliance. That's all PR. We know that, right? How should the DA actually be handling the situation that it can deal with right now? And that is Albert Fritz, because he has stepped down pending the investigation, and that's all they're really saying.
No, the DA must take South Africans into its confidence and tell us what exactly has Mr. Fitz allegedly done. You are not saying that he is guilty, but at least let South Africans know so that there is no speculation. So if the DA doesn't do that, then it means the party itself would be fueling speculation about what could be happening within the party.
Okay, let's move on to the ANC's NEC meeting, because we heard from the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa. He came out actually showing support as a party to the judiciary, the constitution, etc. But there's no solid decision on the next move regarding Lindiwe Sisulu. We still have those press statements that were released last week, and that's about it.
It's a very bizarre situation that is unfolding in the ANC and indeed in the presidency. Here you have a strange situation of a minister who is serving at the pleasure of the president, literally wreaking havoc in cabinet, sending messages that undermine the integrity not only of the judiciary but of the South African state. And then you have the president responding through letters and statements as if you're dealing with a powerless president. It is very bizarre. This leaves the South African public confused as to who actually is leading South Africa. That's the first aspect of the picture that is emerging. The second aspect is that South Africans are losing confidence in the ability of Cyril Ramaphosa to govern and to lead. He comes across as a very weak president who cannot take action, especially when it comes to critical matters affecting our society. So this is not good to Ramaphosa, to the ANC, and certainly not to South Africa.
And then let's talk about, the calls internally within the ANC for disciplinary against Lindiwe Sisulu. You have a disciplinary committee chaired by Mildred Oliphant and the likes of other members who have actually been implicated, right? How does that process carry out itself if we have a situation like this? Can we trust the ANC to do something here?
The ANC cannot be trusted because the ANC itself is implicated in many scandals of corruption. You just have to read the first part of the Zondo Commission report to see that anybody who believes that the ANC can discipline anyone within its ranks who has committed wrongdoing, such a person is not okay in the head. So we cannot trust the ANC in this regard. When we can't trust the governing party, the question is, as society, who do we trust? We were supposed to trust the president of our state. But unfortunately, we cannot even trust the president of our state because he has demonstrated to us that he has no backbone. He is dithering. So as South Africans, we are left drifting unguided. That, unfortunately, is the state of our nation.
The National Disciplinary Committee, as things stand, right, as you mentioned, chaired by Mildred Oliphant, and then you have the Disciplinary Committee of Appeal Chairperson Nomvula Mokonyane, implicated in the state capture inquiry. Does the ANC need to actually disband the movement? We saw some suggestions that there were calls for that to happen, and possibly put new people in there who are credible to carry out this process.
The only options for the ANC are two. Number one, it's for the party to voluntarily disband itself and hopefully be born again. That option, I don't think the ANC will take. The second option, which it's not within the control of the ANC, is for the party in 2024 to lose an election. And let me tell you, if the ANC were to lose an election in 2024, it would be the end of the party called the ANC. If you want an example of what I'm talking about, look at what happened to the party of Kenneth Kaunda in Zambia. This is going to happen. And I think that all the factions in the ANC, they know what I'm talking about. And they're just waiting. Some of them, by the way, have begun looting state resources. We are aware. So I think those are the only options. And it's very scary, by the way, for South Africa to be governed by such a party that is in chaos.
Lastly, let's talk about Lindiwe Sisulu and her defiance on this matter. You know, some analysts are saying that she's preparing for the National Elective Conference. Does she even stand a chance?
There is no question about it that she is preparing for the elective conference of the ANC. And you can see quite clearly that she has positioned herself, or busy positioning herself, to be the candidate for the radical economic transformation forces. She is in and out of KwaZulu-Natal. We have seen her at Shembe Church. She visits Jacob Zuma frequently. You can see that she thinks and believes that the RET forces are powerful, that they're going to deliver the presidency of the ANC and ultimately the presidency of South Africa. Let me tell you, you call me again after their elective conference. Lindiwe Sisulu will not be president of the ANC and will never be president of South Africa. She is actually wasting her time in my view.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. Political analyst Prince Mashele.